Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today starts another reading vlog, so stay tuned. So it is currently Wednesday, December 30th, which means I'm starting this vlog a bit late. Well, if you watched last week's vlog, you know we had family and did lots of fun activities and all that stuff. And these past few days I've just been enjoying family time and didn't vlog like at all. But I thought I should go ahead and get this vlog started. I have gotten some reading done and I haven't checked in with you and let you know about any of it. So I went off TBR a little bit this last week, and Marty and I read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. We wanted to buddy read this together and get prepared for the show, which I think is coming out in April, and so we can like watch the show together. So we read this completely on Tuesday, and well, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Marty said he gave it 4 stars. It's about Alina Starkov, and she is an orphan and a map maker in the First Army, and she's there with her best friend Mal, and he's also the boy she's been like crushing over and just in love with forever. They were orphans together. And then it's discovered that she has a magical ability and that she is a Grisha, I think that's how you say it. She is a Grisha, and she's taken to the royal court before the Darkling to train to become part of the Second Army, which is the Grisha Army, and to learn about her abilities. And it's so good. And we have actually started the second one, but we haven't finished it yet. We're like, I don't know, about 1/3 of the way through. We're listening to the audiobook of it. I don't actually have the physical book, but really enjoying this. Today I finished, which I was supposed to do this on Sunday, but I finished Wondersmith by Jessica Townsend. This is The Calling of Morrigan Crow. It's the second book in the Nevermore series, or the Morrigan Crow series. I'm not really sure exactly what it's called, but I really enjoyed this. This was 4 stars. This is, without really trying to spoil anything for the first book, this is Morrigan kind of finding her way through training. That's really all I can say. It was a lot of fun. This also gives like the school vibes and all of that. So like magical school type thing, and that's a lot of fun. So last week, the only book I finished was Queen of the Conquered by Kaysen Callender, and that completed my Happy Kwanzaa Merry Bookmas challenge for reading a book by or about a person of color. So that means I only had 1 challenge remaining, and I haven't completed it yet. So I have between today and tomorrow to get this complete, and I'm hoping I can do it and vlogging it throughout, because it's one of my Once Upon a Book Club boxes. So I'm supposed to read No One's Home by D.M. Pulley. This is for the challenge Last Bookmas Read a Book that came out in 2019. And I am currently reading this. I'm on page 32, just getting started. But it is one of these Once Upon a Book Club. It's a mini one, so there's only like 2 gifts here. The first gift's not until page 184, so that'll probably be tomorrow when I get to that, because it's late and I'm going to go to bed soon. But like I said, I wanted to get this vlog started. I have some things to show you too. So I've got some fun mail here. And well, let's start with the big one here. So this is my Once Upon a Book Club Advent Edition. This thing is huge. But unfortunately, it didn't arrive when it was supposed to. It was supposed to be here by December 13th, I think. And on Christmas Day, it was still pretty much in its original location. It hadn't left Arizona, unfortunately. So it's not really going to work like an Advent, but I am still going to do videos of showing you everything in here. But real quick, like a peek inside. This time, instead of like a little pamphlet of stories, we have like almost a full-size book here. And these are the 12 Days of Book Clubmas. And there are 12 short stories in here. And then our gifts that go along with them. So I may actually do this as like 12 different videos and read a short story, open up a gift, and post that video. Just because I have done something like this with all of my other Advent boxes from the Once Upon a Book Club Advent thing. It's just mail kind of screwed things up. They did actually ship it off back on like December 8th, and for some reason it stayed at the post office for 3 weeks. So yeah, I will be doing videos for that. I also got a Sipsby box. This is my January teas. And let's see what we got. This says, "Cheers to a new year, Melanie. There's a lot to reflect on and even more opportunity before us. We recommend sipping your teas while making a plan for your best 2021. Who knows, all your dreams could come true." So the first tea I see in here is 4 packs of this Stash Holiday Chai. And this is high caffeine. This holiday interpretation of a classic Indian drink has a spicy sweet gingerbread aroma and is excellent plain or with milk and sugar. Next up we have 4 Earl Grey black teas by Ahmad Tea. And this one is high caffeine as well. Ahmad Tea is a British family business with a long tradition. They supply tea for the royal collection, including Buckingham Palace. Enjoy this posh best-selling blend. Then we have Tea Head. This is a loose leaf tea. It's a strawberry blend and it is caffeine free, and this has 4 servings in it. And when you get a loose leaf tea, you get the little bag here. And inside here, you have a bunch of these really cute little disposable tea bags to use, which I really appreciate that. And then, oh, let me tell you about this one. So this one's caffeine free. It says this juicy fruit tea blend is like eating delicious fresh, garden fresh strawberries and blackberries. Packed with vitamins and without any caffeine, you can enjoy this blend any time of day. And I love, love, love a fruity tea. They're like my favorite. And then last but not least, we have lavender buttercream. Sweet, creamy, and floral. And this is by David's Tea. This one's also caffeine free. It says dessert is served. Sweet, creamy, and laced with aromatic lavender, this decadent caffeine-free Rubio's blend tastes like a slice of vanilla cake with floral buttercream frosting. Yum. This is also like, I love sweet desserty kind of tea, so I'm really looking forward to that. My monthly tea box is always like so on point. If you don't know, when you sign up for Sipsby, you fill out like this whole profile questionnaire and you tell them like things that you like, you don't like. For me, when I very first started, I was kind of like open to anything because I really didn't know what I liked as far as tea goes. And over time you can go back and like re-answer your questions and change how you did that. But also when you get your teas, you can go onto this site and go onto your My Teas section and rate the teas, and they customize these boxes for you. So the more you rate, the better the box is going to be for you. And so I love that. So now, because I've got my questionnaire like more representative of what I know I like and don't like now, and because of rating these teas, my regular monthly box is always just like perfect perfection. My words are not perfection, but my T's are. Okay, and then I have this one last thing here. This is some book mail. I got, this was a book that I won, I forget. I want to say it was some con, like Comic-Con, or I don't know. But it was one of those things like that, but it was done virtually, and I ended up winning like 3 books. And I've already shown you the other books, but the last one just took a little while to get here, and that is The Beast and the Bethany by Jack Meggitt Phillips, illustrated by Isabel Fullath. And this looks so stinking cute. It's also a lot thinner than I expected. It's only 232 pages. This is middle grade. Beautiful end pages. The book is just, it is so pretty. This says, Ebenezer Tweezer has spent nearly all of his 511 years living alone in a beautiful mansion filled with beautiful things. Well, not entirely by himself. There's that small thing of the beast in his attic, which he feeds all manner of meals, such as performing monkeys, his pet cat, and the occasional cactus. And in return, the beast vomits out presents for Ebenezer, including potions that keep him young and beautiful. But the beast grows ever greedier, and soon only a nice juicy child will do. Enter the perfect beastly meal. Bethany is a frankly dreadful child living at the Institute for Gentlemanly Boys and Ladylike Ladies, where she torments the other children and the frazzled Miss Fizzlewick. If any child is to be gobbled up by the beast, a Bethany is surely the right choice. Yet as Ebenezer gets to know Bethany, doubts start creeping in. Could it be that Bethany is less meal-worthy and more friend-worthy? And I think this sounds so cute. And there's also lots and lots of art throughout. It looks like it's going to be so, so cute. I think this will be a very quick read too. And I'm looking forward to it. Okay, so I think I've got you all caught up on my reading. Oh, actually I am distance reading an audiobook with my mom, like buddy reading an audiobook with my mom. We haven't finished it yet. We're going to be doing it over like FaceTime video chat, and like video chatting over my computer while I'm playing the audiobook on my phone, and we're just gonna both hang out and listen to it together. But we are listening to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey, and we are 77% through that. So we still have about an hour left, and I'm not sure when we're gonna get around to finishing it, but very, very much enjoying this. Like, it's so cool hearing his story and how he came to do certain things that he's done, and things to just explain certain parts of his personality. And I'm really impressed by him. Also, the audiobook is narrated by him, and I love him, and it's just really good. I definitely recommend it. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, I've got this on because I have been cleaning up the holiday cheer that has exploded throughout my house, and I think I just finally got all the wrapping paper picked up, and so I picked up a bow and stuck it on me. I'm gonna go, and I will talk to you tomorrow. So I'm still reading No One's Home by D.M. Pulley. This is like spooky ghost story, but it's told in like 4 different times. So let me see. Okay, for one, it says, this story was inspired by the century homes of Shaker Heights, 2 real murders and a rumor. and it's an estate called Rawlingswood, and there were 4 families. We have the Rawlings family from 1922 to 1931, the Bell family from 1936 to 1972, the Klossman family from 1972 to 1990, and the Martin family from 1994 to 2016. And then it starts with the house being sold, like up for sale, and it's April 7th, 2018, and this is the Spielman family. And so it's like hopping from all the different families and the different timelines and stuff, so you have to definitely be paying attention. But when they buy the house in 2018, it's like really run down and really graffitied, and there's stuff like welcome to Hell House, Get Out, Run, The Evil Dead Live, Murder House, and there's just different creepy things written throughout, like Dead Girl and I Killed It, Bad Benny, Bad, things like that. And yeah, some secrets have been revealed about like the first timeline and I guess the current as well. There's just a whole lot going on. But also I have gotten to my next gift. So I'm not really sure where exactly to read. It says, in the glossy glow of the white marble, a figure stood at his sink, the shape of a girl. Myron stopped breathing, frozen in the doorway. Bare legs, long pale hair, white gauzy slip, a wisp of smoke. Margot, he whispered. He squinted at the female shadow and took a cautious step into the doorway. The shape of her slipped into his closet with the softest laugh he'd ever heard, a breath escaping from the slightest of smiles. Creepy. So we have the gift for page 184 here. Looks like so. Unrolls here. It's got spider webs all on it. Oh, I guess it's the nightgown that she was wearing in the thing. Hold on. So this says the white nightgown with a hint of vanilla sugar perfume. I don't really smell that, but this was a box from like not the Halloween we just had, but the Halloween before, so I'm not surprised that it doesn't smell like that anymore. Oh, it's not actually a nightgown, it's a robe. Cool. And the tag says Once Upon a Book Club. And it's just a pretty white, like knee-length robe. It looks like this. The ends of the sleeves look like that. It's like a maybe elbow-length sleeve. And then the bottom of the robe also has that detail. And then it has like the little ribbon sash or whatever for tying it. So it looks like this. I like it. Oh, and also in the mail today came in Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. Granted, these are the newer covers. The covers that I would have liked to get match this. This one's different than the rest. I kind of now wish I had the cover for that. I wish I could get the covers that match this because I really like them, but they're like impossible to find. But it's okay. They don't look terrible together. But yeah, I wanted to have the full set. I might try McKay's at some point and see if I can find the matching ones for this. But yeah, for now at least I have these. And now I'm going to continue on in the book. So I'm on page 184. The next gift is on page 228. Alright, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm on page 228 and it's time for our next gift. It says, the dull tink 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 of a glass wine bottle sliding against the concrete floor pried open Hunter's eyes. So I'm guessing this has something to do with like a wine bottle, but it's a little on the small side. So let's open this and see. It is in like a wine bottle. What is this? Rawlings Wood Vanilla Zinfandel Bubble Bath. Fun. And it's all bubbly. That is just really cute. Fun. Also, there is a print in here. It says, "'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down to where we ought to be." And I think this is one of the things that was on a wall near the beginning of the book. Okay, so where did I set my book down? I'm going to continue reading. That's the only other gift in here. So let's see. It's my goal to finish this before the live show tonight. There are 374 pages and I'm on 228. So I think I can get this done before then. But now I have some errands to run. So I will just talk to you later. So I finished No One's Home by D.M. Pulley. I think I'd give this like a 3.5. I enjoyed it. I'm not really sure how to describe it other than it's like a haunted house kind of thing where there have been 4 families that have owned this home and now a 5th one has bought this home, and it seems as though in every family the men die and the women go crazy and something is haunting this house, and that's really the gist of it. Can't really say anything more than that without spoiling anything, but I enjoyed it. 3.5 stars. And while I was out and about earlier, I went to Dollar General and I ended up finding Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Mira Simple. Simple. And it was only $2, so I thought that was a great deal. This says, when 15-year-old B claims a family trip to Antarctica as a reward for perfect grades, her fiercely intelligent but agoraphobic mother, Bernadette, throws herself into preparations for the trip. Worn down by years of trying to live the Seattle life she never wanted, Bernadette is on the brink of a meltdown. As disaster follows disaster, she disappears, leaving her family to pick up the pieces, which is exactly what Bee does, weaving together emails, invoices, and school memos to reveal the secret past that Bernadette has been hiding for decades. Where'd You Go, Bernadette is an ingeniously entertaining novel about a family coming to terms with who they are and the power of a daughter's love for her imperfect mother. And it looks as though it's a movie as well. I think it is. And there are like pictures here, I'm guessing, from the movie. Yeah, I'm going to read this at some point and probably check out the movie. Oh, it looks like there's like police reports and stuff in here. This will be fun. Alright, so that's it for now. I probably won't check in again tonight because I have a live show starting in about an hour and 15 minutes. So I need to finish like getting ready for that. And that's going to be an all-night thing. Not sure how much updating I'm going to do tomorrow because I'm not sure how I'm going to feel tomorrow, but we'll see. But yeah, I will talk to you maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day. It's 2021. Yay, 2020 is over. That was like the suckiest year. So I'm looking forward to 2021 and hopefully it has some better things in store for us. So yesterday, I didn't end up vlogging. I was just busy. I didn't end up having a hangover because I didn't drink that much in the live show. But we did have a really good time. It went pretty late. It was after 2 a.m. when I got off. because we tried to ring in the new year as much as possible. So we rang it in my time zone and Clint's time zone, and then we went Central time zone as well. And at by 2 a.m. I was ready to get off anyway. We'd been on for 4 hours because we started at 10 my time. But yesterday I spent the day doing some cleaning. I took down like Christmas tree and all of that stuff and tried to like get everything cleaned up. And I also got my Goodreads caught up, and I kind of made my plan for my reading for the month of January. And I also worked on like collecting my stats for the year and my top 20 for the year, which I'll do a video hopefully soon. And what else? Oh, I video chatted with my mom, and we finished listening to Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And so I can say that the first book that I completed in 2021 was that book, and it was 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It was, I laughed so much while listening to this. We were listening to the audiobook. I do want a physical copy of the book because he referenced things in the audiobook, like pictures of him doing things or whatever, or him growing up. And so I assume that they're in there, and I want to see these. And it's like his memoir, kind of, a little bit of an autobiography. It's called Green Lights because he talks a lot about opportunities in life and what has been a green light for him, and being able to see green lights in your own life, and how to turn yellow lights and red lights into green lights. And he's such an interesting character, and it was really, really, really cool, and I really enjoyed it. So 5 stars. And I also started listening to on Scribd Dreamfall by Amy Plum. So this is my first off of my TBR, and this is also for my buzzword for January, or one of my books for Buzzwordathon for January, which is Dream. And I am pretty far in. I'm on page, or getting ready to start page 223, so I only have this much left. This is about a group of, I think, 7 kids who, they all have different sleep disorders, and they're all brought on by something like PTSD or whatever. They all have their own issues, and they go into this experimental thing where it's gonna be like some shock therapy pretty much to help get their sleep cycles in order so that they actually will like sleep normally in real life or in everyday life. But shortly after they're put into this sleep state where they're going in and out of REM, there's an earthquake, the place loses power, there's some crazy stuff that happens, and they seem to think, like all the scientists and stuff seem to think that all these kids have now gone into a coma. But there's one person who believes that maybe that's not the case. He is seeing differences, but he's just kind of watching it on his own before he says anything, because he's just there to observe what's going on and not one of the scientists. And then the kids, they're all stuck in their nightmares. But it's not like their individual nightmares. They're going in and out of pretty much a REM sleep to a deep sleep, and in the deep sleep they're like in this void where they're all just talking to each other. They all seem to be connected somehow, like their brain waves or something seem to be connected. So they're all in this together. They enter this deep sleep void together, and they've worked out how long they're in that, and then they go on to one of the nightmares, and it's one of their nightmares. So they're going into nightmare after nightmare after nightmare, and through these cycles, and they're having to survive, and not all of them do. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm getting ready to work on some editing. I imagine at some point today I will finish this. I do have somebody coming soon. Well, It's 9:52 a.m. now, and they told me they were going to be here between 9:45 and 11:45 to do some measuring because we want to get some new flooring. So hopefully that person will be here soon. My plan for the rest of this weekend, as far as reading goes, is I want to finish reading Dreamfall. I want to read The Passengers because that will complete my challenge for January for dark themes. And then I also want to physically read The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman. Don't know if I'm going to complete all that today and tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you later. So I have spent the majority of my day today editing my Merry Bookmas week 4 vlog. Oh my goodness, I had a ridiculous amount of footage. I had over 3.5 hours of footage, and so that was interesting trying to get that to be less than an hour. In the end, I got it down to 56 minutes, but that was some work. Katniss, you got tinsel? Not hair tinsel. I did finish a book today. I finished Dreamfall by Amy Plum. I think I would give this, let's say, 3.75. I very much enjoyed it. I would like to read the next book, which I think is called Never Wake. It's about these, I think, 7 kids who, they all have some kind of sleep disorder. And they are entered into this experimental, like, well, it's a therapy that's like an electroshock therapy. And it's meant to put them into a sleep state and regulate them between REM and deep sleep. And shortly after this experiment begins, there's an earthquake and it kind of messes up everything. And the scientists that are controlling this experiment, they believe that all of these kids have now gone into a coma. And there's one person there, he's like a pre-med student, he's there doing a research thing, and he's just observing, and he happens to notice something is a little off, and that even though they think, the scientists and the doctors say it's impossible, that they could be dreaming, that they're just in a coma, they're in like a vegetative state, he believes that they actually are dreaming, and he's finding patterns and things. And throughout the story, we're going back and forth between the perspective of the kids and this pre-med student, where he's like noticing these things and what's going on with the doctors and looking over the files of these kids. Now the kids, they're stuck in not just a dream, or not even just their own. It's like a collective nightmare, or should I say nightmares. So they are going in and out of like REM and deep sleep. And when they're in the deep sleep state, they're in this black void and they're all there together. And then when they're in the REM sleep, they enter one of their nightmares, and all of them go into that person's nightmare together. And it does kind of give a little bit of like Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. You know what? I think I'm actually going to give this a 4, just because I really love Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, a lot of people don't think they're scary now, but they've always been like my favorite scary movie kind of thing. So yeah, I'm going to give this 4 stars actually. And I did put Never Wake on my wish list, so I will get to that at some point. But this is a lot of fun. There's an interesting twist there at the end, and so I'm looking to see what happens in the next one. And then I've started 2 other books. So I started physically reading The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman, and I'm on page 45 of this. It's a short book. It's only like 211 pages. I've kind of been reading it sporadically while doing other stuff. And then I've also sporadically been listening to a little bit of an audiobook, and I've been listening to The Passengers by John Mars. And this is a really good audiobook. I'm only on page 48 right now. but I'm really enjoying the audiobook. So at the beginning of each chapter, there's different things. Like this has a blabber box. Really, it's like Twitter or something. But there's articles or news reports, things like that. Yeah, like here's a news report. This is also set in the UK. So each chapter so far has been a different character, and we're still meeting new characters even on chapter 7. All I know at this point, we have all these different people from different backgrounds. Some seem to be good people, some maybe not good people. And this is set, I guess, in a very futuristic world where most automobiles are fully automatic. You don't drive them at all. There's no manual override. They're all like electric, and they charge themselves, and they do everything themselves. You just enter in your destination or whatever. You can watch movies, you can email, you can do whatever you want while driving. The car will get you there. And the government is pushing for within the next decade for there to be no manual cars, and it to be mandatory that if you're going to be driving or if you're going to be in a car, it's going to be one of these fully automated cars. And so far in the first 6 chapters, each of our people that have gotten into their fully automated car has found themselves trapped inside of it, and somebody informs them that their destination has been rerouted, and within X amount of time, there's a very good chance they'll die. And I'm really interested. I'm really intrigued by what's going on. This is the book that I've decided to go with for my dark themes, for my TBR knockout for January, because from what I gather from the synopsis, this is like a reality TV show type thing where you get to judge, like you get to vote who's gonna die. Also, this was one of my Cards Against Humanity, or Cards Against my TBR answer cards, and that was for J.D. Power and his associates, so I picked a book having to do with cars, so that's why I chose this one. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. And as far as the Ice Queen goes, all I know about it right now is that our main character, when she's like 8 years old, she gets mad at her mom one night when her mom's gonna go out, and she wishes she would never have to see her again. And then her mom gets in a car accident and dies. And of course, our main character, she never tells anybody that this happened, that she made this wish, but she knows that her mom's death is her fault because of this. And later in life, when her grandmother, the one that's been taking care of her, is like really old and struggling and like on her deathbed, she makes a wish that the world would just let her grandmother go and she wouldn't have to suffer anymore, and her grandmother dies that night. And so she, of course, believes it's her fault. And then again later, she makes a wish that she would get struck by lightning, and not the same day, but shortly after, she gets her wish. And though she was hoping this was another death wish, because the others have led to death, and she's very depressed after the grandmother passes away, the lightning doesn't kill her, but it does really mess her up. And that's really all I know at this point. I do know she kind of refers to herself as like the Ice Queen, because when she was 8 years old and this thing happened with her mother, she just kind of shut down and never let anybody in and never felt anything and stopped crying and all of this stuff, and she just kind of became cold and turned to stone. She was always the dutiful granddaughter, the good student, the good listener, friend, the good co-worker, but as far as having like feelings and emotions, she never connected with anybody, things like that. She just couldn't. And yeah, I'm enjoying this as well, but very different than this. And I have some bookish mail. So this is from Owl Crate. This was I think an apron. I think they had an apron in one of their boxes. before that had a misprint on it or something, so they sent out a new one, and it's in this pretty bag. Fate is a very weighty word to throw around before breakfast. It's just an apron. And then I'm going to guess this is either my December Brave Girls book club or the November one, because they had to resend me the November one, because in November they accidentally sent me 2 of the books that matter instead of 1 books that matter and 1 Brave Girls book club. Oh no. I've already gotten my December books that matter. Please tell me they didn't send me another books that matter. Oh, okay. The box is the same, but what's inside is not, because the sticker here says Brave Girls Book Club. Okay, so opening it up, looks like so. I think this is their November one, because I think I've seen what the December book is, and this is not it, so it must be the November one. So the book got a little crushed here, but that's okay. I can fix it. But it's When Life Gives You Mangoes by Corinne Getton. And this says, a summer she can't remember, a friendship she won't forget. Nothing much happens in Sycamore, the small village where Clara lives. At least that's how it seems. She lives eating ripe mangoes fallen from trees, running outside in the rainy season, and escaping to her secret hideout with her best friend, Gaina. There's only one problem. She can't remember anything about the previous summer. When a quirky girl called Ruby arrives from England, everything starts to change. Gaina stops acting like a best friend, while Rudy and Clara roam across the island and uncover an old family secret. As the summer reaches its peak and the island storms begin, Clara's memory starts to return, and she must finally face the truth of what happened last year. Interesting. It's pretty short too. It's only 222 pages. I have to flatten that out. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Blueberry Bliss Gourmet Sweets from London. Candy Kittens. Okay, I'm curious. Okay, I guess they're gummies shaped like kittens. Really good. Okay, so this is a collectible patch designed by Emma Pierce, and it says collect a new patch in every Brave Girls book club box. And you can sew this onto a blanket, a jacket, backpack, or other garment. So here's what this one looks like. We have a little keychain here that says Brave Girl. And a bookmark. On one side it says, so Matilda's strong young mind continued to grow, nurtured by the voices of all those authors who had sent their books out into the world like ships on the sea. These books gave Matilda a hopeful and comforting message. You are not alone. Matilda by Roald Dahl. And on the back it says, the books transported her into new worlds and introduced her to amazing people who lived exciting lives. She traveled all over the world while sitting in her little room in an English village. I love Matilda. And then we have Girls Who Read Lead November Activity Pack. The word of the month this month is empowered. And it talks about the gifts in the box and the book, an interview with the author, questions for you to think about, I guess, while reading the book. There's a little activity here and a place for you to like rate and review the book. And there's leaders to learn about. Fill in the blanks to learn the stories of these wonderful female leaders. Ask a grown-up to help you find out some facts about them online if you get stuck. So we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we have Michelle Obama, and we have Greta Thunberg. and Greta's book was in our Books That Matter box. Then we have a feminist role models word search. Okay, and then we also have a reading journal. This journal belongs to, and then it would be me. Oh, and this is a very, very simple one. You just write the title, author, genre, your little review, and fill in the stars here. Cute. Oh, there's one more thing. Looks like we have some pencils in here too. thisgirlismighty.com. We have 2 pencils and they both say this girl is mighty. We have an orange one and a pink one. And they're sharpened. Okay, so that's everything in that box. So those are all the goodies I have to show you. Alright, I'm gonna go. I need to get my video uploaded and then I'll probably spend the rest of the evening, what time I do have, if I have any time, reading one of these. Probably this one. And hopefully tomorrow I can get both of these finished. Alright, I'll talk to you tomorrow. So today I have pretty much spent my day just laying around the house and reading, and I did complete one. I completed The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman, and this book was interesting. I was kind of stuck for a little while on how I was going to rate this because it was weird and it was just tragic and I cried. And it was interesting and it held my attention. This is like a tragic, grim fairy tale, really. So our main character, she is a librarian, and when she's 8 years old, as 8-year-olds sometimes do, they get mad at their parents and say something they regret later. Think Home Alone, and when Kevin says, I wish I didn't have a family anymore, and then the next morning he wakes up and there's no family there because they left to go without him. But when she's 8 years old, she makes a wish that her mother would never return, or she'd never see her mother, or something like that. And her mother dies in a car accident that night. It's January, there's ice on the road, they're in New Jersey, and yeah, her mother dies. And she carries that guilt with her that she caused her mother's death by making this wish. And she never tells anybody, but she kind of turns to ice herself and becomes this ice queen. And she kind of has this fairy tale in her head about this girl becoming completely made of ice, and her heart's made of ice, and she becomes invisible and doesn't feel anything. Now her and her brother are raised by her grandmother, and she is the dutiful daughter, or dutiful granddaughter. She is the dutiful student, she's the good friend, she's the dutiful co-worker, but she never really lets anybody in, and she just keeps herself closed off. She doesn't want to feel anything for anybody. And her grandmother gets very sick, and eventually she's like on her deathbed, and one night our main character makes a wish that this world would just release her grandmother from the pain that she's in, and that night her grandmother dies. And so now she believes there's this death wish that she keeps making, and she becomes very, very depressed. And her brother is like, no, you can't just stay here in this, and he takes her to Florida with him. And while they're there, or on their way there, they're talking about lightning strikes and things like that, and she wishes that lightning would strike her, and she knows that this is a wish that's going to be like the others. And well, she does end up getting her wish. She gets struck by lightning, but it doesn't kill her, kind of like she's hoping. And she's severely injured. She's got a lot of issues. She ends up in this support group for other people that have been struck by lightning, and she becomes interested in this other man that has been struck by lightning and died, and like woke up 40 minutes later, and he goes by the name Lazarus because he rose from the dead. And he practically breathes fire. If he touches her, like if he grabs a hold of her arm, he leaves blisters on her skin. And somehow they find a way to be together, and that's where things start getting really, really weird. And if that kind of stuff doesn't sound sad enough, it continues to get sadder and sadder and sadder throughout the entire book. And definitely trigger warnings for suicide in here. I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars because it is very much like a Grimm fairy tale, and the Grimm fairy tales are referenced a lot in here, and it's not necessarily all happy endings. And like I said, I did cry while reading this, so I'm gonna give this 4 stars. And I have continued with The Passengers, and I'm really enjoying that. I'm on page 243 right now, so I still have, like, I'm a little over halfway. But that is where I'm at with my reading as far as this week. So let's see, so in this vlog I completed Shadow and Bone with Marty. I completed Wondersmith with my like buddy read group. I completed Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey with my mom. I completed Dreamfall by Amy Plum. This was one of my my answer cards for Cards Against My TBR. This one was Shouting the Loudest. This also completed one of my buzzword books that I'm going to do for January, which is, the buzzword is Dream. I also started Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo with Marty and got to page 206. Completed The Ice Queen by Alice Hoffman. And this was just one of my Have I Read It's. Oh, it was also, I think this was also one of my question cards where it was now on BuzzFeed, 10 pictures of, I think it was the Queens of Finburn that look like the Ice Queen or something like that. Or the other way around, I can't remember. And then I also got a good chunk of The Passengers. So completed all of these and Green Lights, and then got a good chunk into these 2. So not bad for this week. Granted, my week started on Sunday, though I didn't start this vlog until Thursday, so I have no idea how long this vlog's gonna be. It might be just a lot of me rambling, probably. I still hope you guys enjoyed this video anyway. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!